am here and I've got this little book which I bought actually last year. It's a really, really good book. I heard Rubin talking on the radio here in the UK, and I found him absolutely fascinating. I don't know if you've ever listened to him, but he's absolutely amazing, and his voice is just I could listen to it forever. I could listen to it to put me to sleep. I could listen to it to inspire me. He's just got one of those fantastic voices. Anyway, he brought this book out, and it's called The Creative Act: A Way of Being. And I'm a great believer that everybody has the ability, everybody has the capacity to be creative and to actually live a creative life. You don't have to be an artist, you don't have to be a writer, you don't have to be a painter, you don't have to be the best, most creative baker in the village, but you can actually bring creativity into your life. And I think it's a massive source of well-being, and it does make you feel an awful lot better. Even just talking to you guys yesterday about my dodgy eye has made it feel a lot better, and just being a little bit creative after that and doing some writing and things has really helped. But so I'm going to just start today by just briefly talking about creativity and how you can bring it into your life and how it can actually enhance your life, and not to be afraid of it. I think it's really important not to think that you have to actually be the most amazing creative person in the world. I think doing just little small acts of creativity, just picking some flowers from the garden and arranging them in a little jam jar, or putting your hair in a different way, anything, you can have a creative life, and you don't have to be overwhelmed by not being good enough, or not feeling that you're capable, not feeling that you're able to do it, because actually you are, and everybody is. Nobody's, well, maybe they are born an artist, I don't know, but there's a certain amount of something inside all of us which can make us artists and live that life of creativity just the way we want to, without being told how to do it, what to do, how to behave, or anything. So I'm going to just read this little beginning bit of this book here, by Rick Rubin. So, those who do not engage in the traditional arts may be wary of calling themselves artists. They might perceive creativity as something extraordinary or beyond their capabilities, a calling for the special few who are born with these gifts. Fortunately, this is not the case. Fortunately, as I said, this is not the case. Creativity is not a rare ability. It is not difficult to access. Creativity is a fundamental aspect of being human. It's our birthright, and it's for all of us. I really, really, really do believe that. I do think that creativity is there for all of us to grasp. It's within our reach. We can make creative things happen. When my children were little, I didn't sort of get party people in to perform for them or anything like that. I actually decided that I was going to make creative parties for them. So I would do things like get little balls, little sort of Christmas decoration type, light balls, and they could do papier mache, or they could make disco balls from them. And we would do, for the going home presents, I'd give them a bucket and spade, and something like a homemade cookie, like a starfish cookie or something that to go off and sort of pretend that they were going down to the beach or something like that. So I think there's always ways of living a creative life and bringing creativity into your life and sharing it with others, and especially sharing it with younger people, so that they get off their devices and their phones and their iPads, and they get out there and they get being creative, because it's a fantastic way of making you feel better in life and bringing people together. Creativity is not a rare ability. It is not difficult to access. Creativity is a fundamental aspect of being human. It's our birthright, and it's for all of us. Creativity doesn't exclusively relate to making art. We all engage in this act on a daily basis. To create is to bring something into existence that wasn't there before. It could be a conversation, the solution to a problem, a note to a friend, the rearrangement of furniture in a room, a new route home to avoid a traffic jam. That's pretty creative, isn't it? Normally we all follow the same patterns going wherever we go, and we're very sort of tram-lined into thinking that we must do it that way. But actually there are several ways to get from A to B, and some of them can be quite interesting. If you take a different route, you might discover something. What you make doesn't have to be witnessed, recorded, sold, or encased in glass for it to be a work of art. Through the ordinary state of being, we're already creators in the most profound way, creating our experience of reality and composing the world we perceive. That's very true. So even if you get, well, for instance, a girlfriend of mine who was actually a glass designer and glass maker came over in the autumn, and she'd collected a beautiful bouquet of flowers and leaves and dried plants and things from her garden, twigs, all sorts of things. And I had them on my table in my living room for weeks and weeks and weeks. And as they gradually died, I picked out all the dead flowers and I preserved and kept the ones which were dry. So basically, when it came to sort of my Christmas display, I used a lot of them. There were some hydrangeas, there were some lovely sort of twigs and lovely sort of seed heads and things. And now everything's gone apart from the hydrangea heads, and I've still got those in my kitchen, and they look absolutely gorgeous. And that's a little performance of creativity, isn't it? They almost look like a kind of Japanese display in the vase. So it's absolutely beautiful. In each moment, we are immersed in a field of undifferentiated matter from which our senses gather bits of information. The outside universe we perceive doesn't exist as such. Through a series of electrical and chemical reactions, we generate a reality internally. We create forests and oceans, warmth and cold. We read words, hear voices, and form interpretations. Then, in an instant, we produce a response. All of this in a world of our own creation. And I really do believe that as human beings, we only really show the world a very small part of who we are. Everything else, I mean, it's almost like we are the iceberg and we are the tip of the iceberg, or our mouth is the tip of the iceberg, and our eyes sort of showing the world what we want people to see. But deep inside is the rest of the iceberg, which hides underneath the ocean. And there are a multitude of different ideas, thoughts, and activities going on inside us. And I think, we really, that is all part of our sort of creative process, isn't it? The sort of taking everything in, distilling it, and keeping it swirling and whirling around inside us, and then just bringing out the distillation of that thought process and that creative process out into the real world. I mean, I really do believe that we are multitudes within us. Regardless of whether we're not formally making art, we are all living artists. We perceive, filter, and collect data, then curate an experience for ourselves and others based on the information set. Whether we do this consciously or unconsciously, by the mere fact of being alive, we are active participants in the ongoing process of creation. And yes, again, completely 100% agree. We are active in our process of creation. Who we are, what we are, who we choose to be friends with, who we choose to associate with, and what we decide to do is an active form, an active response. It's part of the creative process. To live as an artist is a way of being in the world, a way of perceiving, a practice of paying attention, refining our sensitivity to tune in to the more subtle notes, looking for what draws us in and what pushes us away. Noticing what feeling tones arise and where they lead. Attuned choice by attuned choice, your entire life is a form of self-expression. You exist as a creative being in a creative universe, a singular work of art. Well, there we go. Thank you very much, Mr. Rick Rubin. That was the first sort of almost 2 pages of his extraordinary book. And it kind of asks so many questions, doesn't it? I mean, we are creative beings in our own right, each of us individual, walking, living, breathing works of art. And I think that's an extraordinary, almost mind-blowing concept, to think that we are so unique. Yes, we follow tribes. Yes, we have, lots and lots of other people that we can identify with, or that we might have similar experiences with, or that we might actually feel close to because we have been maybe perhaps travelled along a similar path. But each of us are 100,000,000% unique. Each of us are our own individual living and breathing works of art. And I think that I have pretty much done my best to live a creative life. I've always been creative, and I instill that very deeply in the people I know and come into contact with, but also in my family and in my children. And I think sometimes it's very hard for people to grasp if they can't, to grasp. When I say to grasp, I mean to grasp that kind of freedom of kind of understanding fully what goes on within a creative mind or the creative process. But I think if you meet people who are like-minded, you come from completely different walks of life, but like-minded people, I think you can then actually come together and great things can happen. I have a group of friends who I absolutely adore, and we've done some fantastic stuff together. And I've really tried to bring my children in on that creative journey, on that process, and to let them know that actually, whatever they make and whatever they do, and however they think, and especially if they think differently or outside of the box, it's actually more interesting. Life may not be as easy as the kind of straight navy blue pathway. It might not be as easy as perhaps going to university and doing a maths degree or a law degree and knowing that you're going to be a lawyer for the rest of your life, perhaps, or knowing that you're going to be an accountant. But being a creative person is, okay, you might not get paid as much, nearly as much, but I'm hopeful that in being fully immersed in sort of being a creative person and a creative thinker will actually bring an awful lot to the world and an awful lot to yourselves, or certainly an awful lot to my children, as I was just talking about just now, an awful lot to them, because it's it's a different way of life and it brings so much joy to so many people. Making a painting, writing a song, or just being part of a creative. Well, my son helped set up a big event the other evening for DJs and music and things, and there was lots of art there as well. And I think that that is a fantastic way to be. And he brought so many people together in that space, and they had so much fun. And he showed his sort of digital images that he'd made, his artwork that he'd made, and he's a fantastic artist. And I think that it's really, really, it was really great that he did that, and very courageous as well, because people may not have liked it. They did, they absolutely loved it, but you do put yourself out there when you're an artist. If you make something, it's a very private endeavor. You're making it one on one with you, what's inside your brain, inside your heart, your soul, your body, and you bring that out onto the paper or into the songwriting or into the baking or the garden or whatever it is. You lay that on the table, or you place that in full view of the people that can see your garden, or in the exhibition where your artwork is, or you play the song. And it's very hard not to sort of be slightly petrified about doing that. You might be extremely proud and feel very confident about what you're doing, but a lot of the time I can guarantee artists have a lot of doubt. There's a lot of self-doubt that goes on and in our heads, and a lot of kind of pre-validation. And I think it's really important not to validate yourself before you've actually done the actual job of putting it out there, because it can always stop you from putting it out there, and it can break your confidence, and it can give you this kind of imposter syndrome, which can often get in the way of being free in what you're thinking. I mean, for many years I always thought I have to do things which are going to please other people, which are going to make other people happy, or which are going to make other people think better of me, or make other people think that I'm amazing or something. But actually, you don't have to do that at all. All you have to do, or I've learned in my life as I've got older, is actually do something for yourself that's 100% authentic. And if it's 100% authentic to you, then I can pretty much almost guarantee that someone somewhere around the world, or even if they're just walking down your street and you've planted that peony there and they're going to stand and look at it and appreciate it, somewhere around the world is going to stand and look and appreciate what you do. And I've learnt that through Ravenous Butterflies, I suppose. And it's been very, very important for me to always follow my own gut, always feel that it's I'm doing this for myself, even though I absolutely adore all of you and I'm here for you and I want to share my ideas with you. What I'm actually doing is I'm doing this for me. I always started as a kind of self-help therapy. So I've always stuck to those rules that every day, whatever I post and whatever I do, whatever I say, is because it's how I actually feel. And I hope that, and I'm sure that it will resonate with some of you too. And that's what I'm really, really, really hoping. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to get leaving and get going in a minute. And but I just did want to share that bit of creativity with you, because I was reading this book the other day, and I just think that I'm going to dip in and out of it because there are so many gems in here. It's just so well written and it's so clear. And I think that it's a really easy book to follow, and it makes so much sense. So I would say everybody is a creative being. Everybody has the capacity to be creative and to make stuff and to be heard and to be seen. And please don't be afraid of doing that, because we only get one chance on this planet. We're here for a pretty short time, really, in the grand scheme of things. We are like little minute specks in the universe, and together, being a creative force for good, we can make a difference. And bringing out the goodness and that sort of wholesome authenticity into our creative world and into our creative lives, and putting it out there into the big wide world, will surely make a difference. I hope and I believe that it will. And for all of you who believe in that, I thank you so much. And for all of you who kind of can follow my ramblings and see where I'm coming from, it's really, really important to me. I think, if there's any reason that I'm here on this world, on this planet, if there's any reason why I have survived my health issues, and I have broken through all the coercive stuff and all of the awfulness that I've had to deal with in my life, and to still be here and to still be alive and kicking, and to be doing this and to be thriving from it, and to be meeting all of you lovely people and sharing with you the main thing is I'm sharing with you my creative ethos, and I absolutely believe that's my kind of mission on this earth. And I do hope that you follow me banging your drums and, shouting out loud. And I'd love to see some of your creative endeavours. I'd love to you to share them with me. Give me some ideas about what I could be doing to be making some really interesting things. I mean, I'm happy to make lanterns for the summer, for the garden, or decorate flower pots, or do a fantastic recipe for a delicious summer feast or something. Do let me know. Do share with me what you've been doing that's creative, because I'm really fascinated, especially when I've got messages here from people from all over the world, from Catherine and from Hilary and from Meg. I mean, just it's fantastic that we all come together like this. And who'd have thought that me, the Miss Technophobe, the most technophobious person on the planet, could actually be doing this and talking to you in Australia or New York or wherever you are at the moment in the world. So I just want to say to all of you, I'll stop my ramblings and I'm going to go now. But to all of you, thank you so much. And I'm going to have a proper live event again, I think, on Friday. So watch out for the posts about that. And I very, very much look forward to meeting you then. So I would love to, love to just see you again then. Lots and lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.